And a very pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Tornado Talk. Glad you're able to join us. We're here most Monday nights as we head into the Thanksgiving holiday this week. And it's a special edition of Tornado Talk as we're going to celebrate the Brevard College cycling team who has made their way back to Brevard after an incredible national championship run at the Mountain Bike National Championships. We'll get into a lot of that in just a few moments. But men's and women's basketball currently underway, and we're following these two games closely. Currently, men's basketball at LaGrange, down in LaGrange, Georgia, in overtime. They headed to overtime after a 58-58 tied score at the end of regulation. We'll keep an eye on that throughout the program. And earlier today on the men's basketball side, Brennan Wansley named USA South Rookie of the Week. Second time in the last 3 weeks for Wansley to win that award, and the Tornadoes players have swept that award all 3 weeks, so pretty remarkable there. And then meanwhile, the women's team is playing this evening also on the road up in Swannanoa, a 42-13 lead over Warren Wilson. So we'll keep an eye on basketball throughout the show, but we're dedicating this program this evening to celebrating the Brevard College cycling team. The Tornadoes won 7 mountain bike national championships, just an incredible run. 6 individual championships plus a team relay. Owen Clark was named men's cross country and short track cross country national champion. Kiara Lylyk named the women's individual omnium champion for best overall female rider and also cross country national champion. Cole Punchard named men's individual omnium national champion for the second time in his career. Matthew Leliveld, men's downhill national champions. And then the Tornadoes win their 7th national title of the weekend as Nicole Bradbury, Kiara Lylyk, Cole Punchard, and Owen Clark combined for a team relay national championship. So just outstanding stuff. And we're going to have a multitude of guests throughout the evening to celebrate these championships. We're going to start with head coach Brad Perley. Great to have Coach Perley on the program. Coach, how are you?
Hey, doing well, Phil. Thanks.
Yeah, great to be with you. Looking forward to breaking this down with you as the Tornadoes won 7 of the 12 available mountain bike varsity national championships this year. I know we're kind of going through the record books and that kind of thing. Pretty unprecedented stuff, Coach, to come away with that kind of hardware.
Yeah, it's definitely not something certainly within our program in the past that we've done to kind of to that degree. So yeah, the student performances were just really above and beyond, pretty wild. And I think even within the team, I don't think there's perhaps necessarily a full understanding of really the depth of those accomplishments. But yeah, we're beyond proud of them. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. And just to give folks a little bit of context on the whole event this year and so forth, originally scheduled for Zirconia, North Carolina, Ride Rock Creek, where the event was last year, was going to be a home race virtually, for the Tornadoes again. And of course, Hurricane Helene comes through. The event needs to be both postponed, but also relocated. And USA Cycling settles on Bentonville, Arkansas, a few weeks after the intended date. And so that required some adjustments for the Tornadoes. But the Brevard College cycling team, obviously, Coach Perley, did very well with those adjustments. Can you kind of take us through that process and what that meant for the team, the relocation, the postponement, and then how they adjusted to it?
Yeah, I mean, and they really, exactly like you said, like the credit is solely on them for just their ability to be flexible and just bounce back, to be honest. Because of course we had the fortune of having mountain bike nationals in our backyard here last year. For us, that's means sleeping in their own beds on campus. We're all here, no travel whatsoever to, prematurely tire the bodies out, potentially, wear it on the immune system before we even get there. But yeah, it was definitely bittersweet. I mean, we were happy to be able to race nationals. We thought for a while, like you had mentioned, those couple of weeks following the hurricane, it looked like everything was just going to be done for the season entirely. We were able to, before the hurricane happened, we were able to compete in 2 of our conference race weekends, both of them a couple hours away, not too far of a drive. And then the remaining 3, so more than half of our season was canceled because of that. And we thought it was pretty clear that nationals were going to be canceled too, or at the very least not going to be held at Rock Creek at the time that it was scheduled, of course. So it was an odd window there, a strange time where we thought nationals, we were hearing rumors it was going to be moved to March, possibly, all sorts of crazy possibilities. And as the athletes trying to prepare for that, there's a lot that goes in. It's not just the week prior, of course. It's not just like the couple of days prior or anywhere near that. It's months and months of preparation to suddenly kind of change courses that way. And it looked like everyone pretty much was just in a mindset of, all right, well, it's the off season basically now. It's time to rebuild. And if we're going to have nationals, it's probably going to be in March. So again, what we were hearing, and certainly no racing anytime soon. So yeah, it was a pretty big challenge, I would say, that the students handled exceptionally well, and just having to have the mindset of, well, it is what it is. Everyone's in the same boat. Nobody knew exactly what was going to happen. So kind of a mini reboot, basically 3 or so weeks out from when the event actually was, to change the mindset from, no, it's not off season time right now. It's not just kind of taking time off the bike. It's not that. It's quite literally the opposite of prepping to try to be at, each student's like physical peak for those national races to happen, because despite what happened during the regular season, it's still the national championships, and the hunger is still going to be just as much, if not more so, honestly, with the given the circumstances for them. So yeah, the credit certainly goes to them, and I'm really proud and honestly in awe of how they handled it. Yeah.
Yeah, great stuff all the way around. A 900-mile one-way trip from Brevard, North Carolina to Bentonville, Arkansas, and the Tornadoes able to handle that with obvious huge performance. 7 of 12 available national championships come home with the Tornadoes. Now, Tornadoes end up finishing second in the overall team omnium for the second straight year, inching closer and closer to that first place slot. Colorado Mesa winning the event, and would like to go through some of these kind of notables, Coach, with you. BC riders ended up sweeping the 2 individual omniums. Kiara Lylyk wins the women's omnium, and Cole Punchard wins the men's omnium. For those who aren't familiar, the omnium is a combination of events, and as a result, it's the best overall rider, across all these different disciplines. And to win it on both the men's and the women's side, really exceptional for Brevard College.
Yeah, it certainly is. And one of the kind of unique things, honestly, about our program, our student composition, is we have a lot of crossover athletes. And in that term, I mean, we have students that are racing all of the disciplines throughout the conference season, but also even at nationals, which obviously, if you're racing everything, it reduces your recovery time. It increases your energy output and your exhaustion level, to be honest. So yeah, over the 4 days of competition, we had a good number of our students racing everything. I mean, a good example, as you mentioned at the start of the show, is our team relay, that 4-person roster that raced the relay. All 4 of those students, the team relay was the very last event, Sunday afternoon. All 4 of those students had raced every single event that week so far. So yeah, it definitely, those titles are, of course, were super sweet to see them be able to claim those, and also to have multiple athletes on those podiums standing next to those teammates that won those jerseys too. It was really, really gratifying and extra sweet. But yeah, there was a lot going on. Definitely, there's a lot of racing to be had by a lot of athletes on the team doing more than just one discipline, one side of the sport. They were racing endurance, they were racing the downhill gravity races, all the above. Yeah.
It's really a remarkable strength as well for the Tornadoes, which are these omniums, this idea of developing student athletes who are able to handle all these disciplines. And the proof is right there. The graphic shows it. 5 straight years that a BC rider has won an individual Omnium national championship. This year, of course, Kiara and Cole. Nicole Bradbury won it last year. The year before that, Cole won his first of 2 individual Omniums in 2023. Tyler Orschel had one prior to that. And then the mountain bike championships that was raced before that one, Tyler Clark, Owen's older brother, wins one. So 5 straight national championships that at least one of the 2 Omnium titles, men or women, goes to the Tornadoes. What a legacy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, those are a lot of good memories, even just mentioning those handful of names that you brings back. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the other programs we compete against, they'll have very full rosters. Mountain Bike Nationals, for example, a full roster is 24 people. We had 19, many of them, as you just said, crossing over and doing those different disciplines. So whereas other programs may have students fully dedicated to one discipline for those weekends, which is, obviously a fantastic strategy in its own right. The reality is we just work with what we have. And fortunately, yeah, we have some phenomenal students that are just very, very good bike riders, period. Not only one aspect, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. And, another notable that really turned a lot of heads at the national championships in Bentonville, 1-2 finishes in men's cross country and short track, back-to-back days with Owen Clark and Punchard finishing 1-2. And I know the racing itself in these events was intriguing, and these 2 worked as a tandem, as teammates, to get it done. And the proof was with those results, 1-2 finishes in both those events.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, really those 2 races in particular you mentioned with Owen and Cole are a pretty good representation of, I think, the team mentality overall, approaching this event and at the event. I mean, that was a very clear way to put on display like their dedication to the team. Obviously, it's if you're in the position, it's not to win. It's not hard to say, hey, I'm going to win, of course, but to have the focus even mid race, mid effort, when they're going as hard as they can, to still think about, okay, what is best for the team? How can we use this arrangement? They threw out the window the idea of, okay, well, I want to win this. For me, it was much more of all right, we need to put as many people towards the front of this race as we can. We're going to try to not, if one person gets first and one person gets fifth, that's not as good for the team points, obviously. So they did a really good job of working together and racing in a way that is not selfish in any way, which sounds funny because sure, yeah, they got first and second. However, the way it was accomplished was in a very team first mindset. And, the tactics of bike racing in both those races, especially in the short track, really, really became paramount. And it was great to see that, the plan ahead of time rarely ends up fully being the plan that's executed in any sport, obviously. So it was really gratifying and extra sweet to see that happen. But yeah, that represented the whole week really for all the students. Yeah.
And then the final event of the weekend, always an exciting one at a mountain bike national championship, the team relay, and Nicole, Kiara, Cole, and Owen get it done there. Would love for you to kind of give us some of the specifics of how that all manifested in a championship for the Tornadoes.
Yeah, that you're right. That event is crazy. It's one of the, I don't know. I think that they all have all the events are stressful without a doubt. That one, I think partially because it's the final event. It's the final event also, not just in the calendar and the schedule, but also the final chance to mix up those team overall results too, that for the overall team points. So yeah, the team selection, it's a good problem to have, but even just choosing which 4 riders are gonna race. So I didn't have that. We didn't have that 4-person roster nailed down, honestly, until that morning, because again, all 4 of them are racing downhill finals that morning. And anything can happen in that. I mean, especially in the downhill event, like in your race run, like there's a very high likelihood, unfortunately, that you're going to crash and hopefully not get hurt, but it's definitely possible. So again, very fortunate to have, but in our our relief riders, I'll call them, in the event of one of those four who weren't able to race. We're lucky to have some phenomenal talents there, 100% ready to go and chase after that. But yeah, it was a really, really tight race. I mean, CMU was very, very close. We were very close to them pretty much all four of those laps, each of those riders' laps. However, also there were a bunch of other teams out there that had phenomenal relay teams too. So we really didn't know what to expect. But the lap times, each rider did one lap. They range from about 9 minutes to 11, 12 minutes. So honestly, pretty long, especially when you can't see anything that's happening out in the woods and you're just waiting for them to pop out of the woods, out of the field. That gets pretty stressful to not know. But yeah, that was just a perfect way to cap the week. And the team we've been very, very close the past couple of years to getting that team relay title. We have won it in the past, but it's been quite a while. And I think from, like you had mentioned, it is one of the more exciting events because it's just, you see people tagging off. It's like all right there in front of you. Not different, honestly, not crazy different from, passing the baton on a track event where it's just like every rider races beyond their ability, honestly, and digs a bigger hole than they ever thought possible, just because it's at that point, it's 100%. It's like, well, it's not just about me. Like they want to perform their best lap for their team, which also has a lot of pressure. So I'm really, really proud of the way they handled that. And I'm proud of the way the team supported them too. Cause I mean, when they're out there and their heart rate is over 200 beats per minute and they can't see straight and they just want to quit, the best thing is to have your teammates literally running and screaming next to you, like doing everything but physically pushing you along, essentially. So that was a very, very sweet team victory. I'm happy to be able to see the whole team celebrating that.
Yeah, what a way to cap off the weekend. And now, no rest for the weary. We head towards cyclocross national championships. That's just a couple weeks away. I know that season's already underway. There was our local event recently, a big time event up in Hendersonville that the team competed in over the weekend. Coach, briefly, if you can touch on cyclocross and how the team's quickly transitioning to it.
Yeah, there's not much cross racing this year to be had. We raced some of the team this past weekend, but a pretty small number, just given how close of a turnaround it was after mountain bike nationals. Some people sick, trying to keep people healthy, trying to get them healthy. But yeah, now we're in 2 weeks from tomorrow. We leave to start the trip to Louisville. Luckily, that's not a super crazy long drive. It's 7 hours or so from us, so not too bad. But yeah, we just decided, officially figured out the nationals team last night who we're taking there. We'll be taking 8 guys and 5 women to cyclocross nationals. And yeah, hoping for some good performances there. I mean, we definitely there's a lot of crossover in potential and ability, I'll say, from mountain bike to cyclocross. So yeah, we're hoping we can capitalize on that. And really, especially in cyclocross where so many things can go wrong so quickly, we just want to have a bit of luck on our side too, and hopefully have some clean races. But yeah, a lot to look forward to there, and definitely a lot of hunger too. Yeah.
Outstanding. Coach Brad Perley with us. Hey, on behalf of all of us at Brevard College and all of the fans here in the area, big time congratulations, Coach. Thanks so much for your leadership of this program. Just incredible numbers and hardware that we were able to discuss here tonight, and it's great to see the team back here at Brevard. Congrats again, Coach.
Cool. Thanks, Phil. Thanks for all the support.
All right, we're going to let you go. That's head coach Brad Perley, and we're going to quickly invite in some of our student athletes who've been waiting patiently to join the program, as we'll welcome in Ayana Gagne and Madeleine Pollock up in that upper right location. How are the two of you, ladies?
Good, thanks. Yeah, we're great. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, great to have you along. And also Olivia Hyde and Kiara Lylyk down in that lower middle location. How are the two of you doing?
Pretty good. Yeah, good. Thank you.
Yeah, great. Thanks for joining us. It's really exciting to have you guys on as we celebrate the performances at those mountain bike national championships. And Ayana, we'll start with you. This was your first collegiate national championships as a member of the Brevard College Tornadoes. Can you tell us about the experience and how it felt to be part of this team and obviously part of all this success?
It was honestly really fun. The team is awesome. Everyone's helping each other. Um, I didn't expect to do that good. So yeah, really happy about it.
Yeah, and just a follow up for you, Ayana. Women's varsity cross country, you got a top 10 there. Can you tell us about your race there and how you felt during that one?
I had a little difficulties with cramps in that race, so I think I could have done better, but I'm still really happy about it, and other than that, I felt great.
Yeah, congratulations. A top 10 in your collegiate nationals debut. Outstanding stuff. Also with us, Madeleine Pollock. Now, Madeleine, it's your second collegiate
Yep.
national championships. You had a lot of success along with the team in Zirconia, North Carolina last year, but this time you head to Mountainville, Arkansas. Have you been able to put it in perspective, what this past weekend was like for the team, and what are your thoughts?
I'm just always so grateful to be part of this team. It's such a great group of people. Everybody's always like uplifting each other, and no matter how your race goes, there's somebody cheering for you. So it's a pretty special place to be, that's for sure.
Now, your results included a sixth place in the individual Omnium, and we talked to Coach Perley quite a bit about the Omnium and what it takes to perform in the Omnium and so forth. Can you take us through all these different disciplines you had to take on to be able to get that sixth place finish in the Omnium?
Yeah, so that meant I raced every every event that weekend. So cross country, dual slalom, short track, downhill. So it was a lot going on. You had to kind of balance recovery, eating at the right times, making sure you knew all your start times. You'd get up and practice for one event in the morning and then an event in the afternoon. So it's just really busy. Just got to stay on top of time management and the schedule. And yeah, it's a lot of fun though, doing all of them. It really keeps you moving and keeps you motivated to do well. So
Yeah, great job there, no doubt. And also with us, Olivia Hyde, the junior from Hoover, Alabama. Now, Olivia, you found the podium, fourth place finish in the women's varsity downhill national championships. Congrats on that. Can you tell us about your weekend and how it felt to find that podium?
Yeah, definitely. It felt fantastic to finally find that podium. I had some rough nationals before. My freshman year, I was sick. My sophomore year, I crashed. So I think I just came into this year with a much better mindset, and I had a really good conversation with Brad beforehand, and he just reminded me to look at my teammates whenever I'm feeling stressed or anything like that. So just remind myself I have a family there who loves me and wants nothing but the best for my riding, and also reminded me that we all have our own special way of riding and no way is better than the other, and not to count yourself out. And I think that's what really helped me find that spot on the podium.
Fantastic stuff. And Kiara Lylyk with us as well. Now, Kiara, you won the individual Omnium. You also were the winner of the cross country race, and you're part of that team relay team. Now that you've had a few days to recover and also, think about this experience, can you put into words, what the weekend was like for yourself and the team?
Yeah, it was a very special weekend for the team. We accomplished some big things I think no other team has accomplished before. And yeah, going into it, I had no expectations for myself personally. I just really wanted to have fun, and I did with the team because, the team aspect of it is amazing, and you just feel like every day's a new challenge, but it's fun because you have all these teammates and your friends beside you. Yeah.
And one more for you, Kiara, which is that team relay that you're a part of. Can you describe, your role in the relay? Which part of it you participated in, and then also, what that felt like, to ultimately get the win.
Yeah, I was so stoked to be a part of this team. Owen and Cole are obviously world class, and Nicole's also so strong. And so our strategy was to have the two boys go, create as much of a gap as possible if they could. And then usually the fastest girl would go last. And so that's what other teams did. Me and Nicole are pretty similar in that type of distance though, and so I went third, and yeah, I just tried to hold on to what we had, tried to extend it a bit more, and Nicole did a smoking last lap, and it was so awesome to see her coming across the line first, and it meant so much to all of us. We all gave 100%. Like, if you saw any of us crossing the line after our laps, we were absolutely smashed. I think I had drool coming off. Like, I saw some of our teammates after, like, not participating in the relay, and they were like, holy smokes, you went all out. And we all did. And so, yeah, doing a team relay like that is when you know everyone puts their heart into it. It was special, and we've never won it before, so it meant so much.
Yeah, congratulations on that. Well, would like our audience to get to know each of you a little more as well. And we'll start with Ayana Gagne out of Quebec, Canada. And would love to hear your story, Ayana, as far as, when you got into mountain biking, when did it become serious? And then, ultimately finding your way here to Brevard College. Tell us about your journey.
I started cycling when I was 4. I started racing when I was 6, and I just never stopped. Yeah, I got to Brevard with the help of Brad, because my friend was supposed to come here, but she didn't, and I still came. And yeah, that's how I got here.
Yeah, outstanding. And how are you enjoying Brevard College? Now that you're, here, a part of the team, you've experienced the national championships.
I love it. It's perfect.
Great stuff. Well, appreciate it. I'm so happy you're a tornado. Madeleine Pollock with us as well. Now, you're from the other side of Canada, British Columbia, North Vancouver to be specific. Would love to hear your journey as well, both in cycling, in mountain biking, and then ultimately in the college scene here at Brevard College.
Yeah, I was a little bit later to start mountain biking. I was about 13 when I started racing. And then COVID kind of came and screwed everything up. And then as we were exiting COVID, I was like, this is something I'd really love to do in university and in college. So I reached out to Brad, and I knew some of the other Canadians who happened to be at school here, and they were like, oh, like, you should come. It's going to be awesome. So that's kind of how I ended up at Brevard, and I really love it. So it worked out well. And yeah, I'm an English and communications major. So that's what I'm doing here.
Outstanding. And Ayana, while we have you, since Madeleine touched on it, have you chosen a major here at Brevard College?
I have, yeah. I'm in health science.
Very good. Olivia Hyde with us as well. Now, native of Hoover, Alabama. So, coming from another direction compared to, the Great White North here from the Canadians. But Olivia, tell us about your mountain biking journey and, how you found your way to Brevard College as well.
Oh, yeah. So I grew up, was born and raised in Alabama, and my family races dirt bikes, and they got me into it when I was really little. Like, I was probably on a dirt bike since I was maybe 5, maybe even earlier. And I really liked it, but I ended up not liking the noise it made. It was just too loud for me. And but then my cousins and my sister joined the NICA program for their school, and my sister was the first girl on her team. And so I didn't love cycling at first because it was really hard. And but once I started like making friends and having like a tight knit community in it, you couldn't get me away from it in high school. And that's why I chose Brevard to come here, is because of the cycling program. And I also just heard really good things about the team group, and there was a strong downhill program here, and that's what I wanted to do. So came here, and I feel like I've grown so much more as a cyclist, and yeah, it's just been great. And I'm now a environmental studies program and focusing on science, and I'm on the newspaper this semester. That's been good. And yeah.
Yeah, a shout out, by the way, Olivia. Great job covering these mountain bike national championships. You had that first person perspective, but it was able to check out your story in the Clarion and really nice work there. And encourage people to pick up the latest edition of the Clarion. A lot of cycling coverage within it. Kiara Lylyk with us as well, out of Ontario, Canada. And same question for you, Kiara. Tell us about your journey.
Well, I got here mostly because I saw like Owen come here and I saw Tyler Orschel come here and Owen's older brother Tyler Clark, Erica Leonard, and to mix school and cycling or sports in general was exactly what I wanted to do. And straight out of high school, I didn't have an opportunity to be a professional cyclist right away, and school was super important to me. So, I reached out to Brad, and I'm just very lucky to be able to come here, and I've loved it ever since.
Great stuff. And can you tell us a little bit about what you're working on academically?
Yeah, I'm majoring in exercise science and I'm minoring in psychology. Hoping to use that in the near future to be a cyclist as long as I can, and then after that, figure out kind of what I want to use it for. But I'm in my junior year and coming close to the end of my studies. But I love every day coming to class and the balance of school and training. And right now, I'm taking an off season from cycling, so spending more time doing school and giving that my focus.
Outstanding stuff. Well, big time congratulations to all of you. What a performance at the Mountain Bike National Championships by the entire team. But before we let you go, there's a little bit of a tradition we have here at Tornado Talk where each of you student athletes get a chance to give any thank yous or shout outs, anybody who might be tuning in or who you just want to thank for their support. And Kiara, we'll keep it going with you. If you got any shout outs or thank yous for us.
Shout out to my mom, my dad, and my brother Dayton, because they're the best and I love them very much.
Very good. Olivia, got shout outs for us?
Yes. Thank you to my parents for always supporting me and sponsoring me. And I want to say hi to my sister and my brother-in-law, Trent. And thank you to my coaches that I've worked with this past year, Ben Hobbs and Jack Brown. Really helped me feel more confident in my downhill skills. And thank you so much. And of course, thank you to Brad for fostering a great season.
Great stuff. Ayana, you have thank yous or shout outs for us?
Of course, Brad, big thank you. The team, the people on the team, my parents supporting me, my dad for training me because he's my coach also, my sister, my grandma, everyone in my life.
Well said. And Madeleine, Pollock with us as well. You have thank yous or shout outs for us?
Yeah, big thanks to my parents and grandparents. I think they're tuning in from Vancouver right now, as well as to my coach, Catherine, and Coach Brad as well, and the whole team. It's a pretty special place. So thank you all.
Well, 4 members right here of that Brevard College cycling team that had such an amazing performance at the Mountain Bike National Championships. I know many of you are already busy with cyclocross, so best of luck with that. And thanks for joining the show. Really great to have you on the program this evening. Ayana Gagne, Madeleine Pollock, Olivia Hyde, and Kiara Lylyk. Thanks for joining the show.
Thank
you for having us.
See ya.
All right. Well, we're going to bring in some more special guests who've been waiting patiently backstage as we'll invite in Owen Clark and also let's see who we have here. Matthew Leliveld in one box, and then we've got Cole Punchard and Hackney in the other. Owen, we'll start with you. Have you been able to put all this in perspective now that you've been back a week or so, as far as what these mountain bike national championships meant to you and also the team?
Yes, I feel like since the races, in terms of being able to put it into perspective, I feel like right after it finished, it was pretty crazy to have finally, because I'm in my 4th year, so to finally have it done, especially the team relay, to finally have been able to pull it off was pretty special. And we always knew we could do it, so it's not like it was a surprise. But even then, finally being able to do it and then having so many jerseys to share across the team was pretty cool. And then to be able to bring them back to campus and then do all these cool things with for example, this Tornado Talk and share them with people in the the photo shoot we did the other day was pretty cool. So yeah, it's been pretty awesome.
Yeah, great to hear. And Matthew Leliveld with us as well, junior from Ontario, Canada, and the men's varsity downhill national champion. Same question for you, Matthew. Have you been able to sort of, put this in perspective as far as what it meant to you personally, and just the team's performance, outstanding throughout the weekend?
Yeah, I'm super stoked with how everybody did all around the team, and I'm stoked on obviously my performance. I've been hunting a national title for a long time, and it's really sick that it finally happened here with the Brevard team. And yeah, I'm really stoked about how everything turned out this year, with how the whole event was kind of up in the air less than a month ago, and it all kind of came together last minute. And yeah, it ended up being an awesome week with the team.
Cole Punchard with us as well, the senior from Ontario, Canada. And Cole wins the varsity individual omnium for best overall rider. A part of an omnium sweep by the Tornadoes. We talked to Coach Perley about this a little bit, as Kiara Lylyk won as well. Cole, tell us a little bit about the omnium and how you're able to, pull it off this year.
Mm-hmm. So the omnium was like the best of your 3 best results out of the 4 events. And this year was pretty solid. Like the XC and short track is my main event sort of, and then had a good downhill with third there. So yeah, super happy to win the omnium. Just really like shows the depth in our program with all our different riders. Like on the men's side, we had 2 or 3 guys on the podium, and then the women's we had 2 as well. So yeah, it's really great.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Wet Hackney with us as well, the senior from Nashville, Tennessee. And, senior year, you've been around this program, you've been to these national championships, but I know for you, this was a special one as well. Tell us from your perspective what it was like.
Yeah, this year was pretty awesome. We had a little bit of adversity coming into this race with the tornado the hurricane that came through. But being with this team for 4 years made me realize how, good we are at pushing through, hard times. And we really proved that this last few weekends. And so, yeah, I was really stoked with everything we did. And it was really amazing to see how everyone kind of did so well. And it was really cool to see.
Yeah, in what a 9th place finish, a top 10 in the men's varsity downhill national championships. Congratulations on that result. Tell us a little bit about downhill. For our audience who might not be, completely familiar with all these different disciplines, but what does it take to be an effective downhill racer? And what's that world like for you all?
Well, I mean, downhill is really just about you and the clock. You're kind of going, obviously down a hill, and then you're racing technical terrain, corners, anything that could like mess you up. And you're just going for your best time that you can get on this time segment. And it really takes a lot of precision and skill and a lot of, focus. And you hone in for about 3 minutes and really leave it all out there. And it's pretty cool.
Yeah, outstanding stuff, and congrats on that result. We'll actually bring it to the other downhill racer here. We'll go back to that upper right location, and Matt Leliveld with us. And Matt, you ended up winning the national championship. There was 2 different heats or 2 different runs you had the opportunity to go with. In that second one, you came up huge to clinch that national championship. Can you take us through it?
Yeah, it was a little bit different format than previous years or any normal downhill race. The track was a little shorter than previous years, obviously, with the whole race being changed location. They were kind of limited into what track that they could send us down. So instead of just doing 1 lap top to bottom, we did 2 laps of the same course, and they added the times. Lap 1 was not my best work. I had a little bit of a mess up, slipped a pedal, and lost a bunch of time. And I got to the bottom, was a little bit flustered seeing the times, and I was sitting in third going into my final run, and I don't know. It just goes to show that you got to lock in when no matter what, and even if it's not looking like it's in your favor, you can definitely turn it around regardless. So I went all in on the final lap and put it all together, and put a good run down, and stoked with the result.
Owen Clark with us, the men's varsity cross country and short track champion. And Owen, I know this is something you've been working towards, throughout your career, and able to win championships in the two events that you specialize in probably the most, correct? Cross country and then the short track cross country, and able to finish 1-2 with your teammate Cole Punchard. You guys have been all over the world together as members of Team Canada, and you're able to finish 1-2. Can you tell us a little bit about those races in specific, Owen?
Yeah, I mean, I've probably traveled and raced with Cole too long, and so we know each other very well, especially like not even just as a person, but like in the races and what we can both do to help each other as teammates. Because typically when you're racing, you're in mountain biking, you're not in a team situation. So being able to like go in to both races with that like tactic in mind was cool, because we both knew we were able to either one of us win both races. So we were like, okay, how can we do this, go about this race and get the most points for the team overall? Because we knew like obviously it'd be cool if one of us wins, but it'd be even cooler if we went 1 and 2, and we were able to do that for both races. So that was pretty sick. But yeah, I mean, for me personally, my brother went here before I did, and he was always chasing a title in those two events. He actually won 2 titles in different events, but those 2 ones that he never got to, I was like, felt like I was racing through him a little bit, which was pretty cool to take those home. So now we have 2 more jerseys to add to the collection, which is pretty sick.
Yeah. And speaking of wins and collecting jerseys and that kind of thing, I'd be remiss not to mention this, because I think a lot of folks might have missed this, because it kind of happened when the whole hurricane deal was going down here in North Carolina. But Cole won his first career UCI mountain bike World Cup. And this is absolutely huge. I mean, we're talking the best riders in the world, and Cole was able to win in his category up in Lake Placid, New York, the home of the Winter Olympics in 1980. And you're able to go up there, Cole, and win that World Cup. I know we're focused on these collegiate mountain bike national championships, but do want to touch on this briefly, Cole. Tell us about that World Cup and how it felt.
Yeah, that was a pretty crazy experience. I flew there like 2 or 3 days before the hurricane hit. So we didn't really know what was going on at school when we were up in New York. But yeah, you're just fully focused on the World Cup as you've been like preparing the 4 weeks before. And yeah, that was like to go off the front like that and lead the entire race pretty much. It was pretty unreal feeling, and yeah, when I crossed the finish line, I just couldn't believe it. It was definitely a highlight of the season, highlight of the career so far for sure.
Awesome stuff. Well, big congratulations on that accomplishment as well. A couple more quick hitters before we let you guys go. Love to hear from each of you the following. One, let us know what you're up to academically here at Brevard College, and then tell us a little bit about why you think this experience of being a Brevard College cycling student athlete is so unique and special, and how you guys really have an amazing team culture. Is what I've noticed being around you guys over the years and so forth. So, Watt, we'll start with you. Tell us about your academics and also about the team culture here at Brevard.
Yeah, so I've spent my 4 years studying a Borg major, pursuing that, and that's been pretty fun. I've enjoyed a lot of that process, and then when it comes to the team aspect, I believe that we have the best team among the, collegiate racing teams, and just like the time that we get to hang out with each other and train with each other and improve on each other and like share each other's successes and learn from each other. It's pretty amazing. So I'd say it's been a pretty good 4 years.
Outstanding. Cole, same questions for you. Catch us up on what you're up to academically, and then also tell us about the team and its culture.
Mm-hmm. I'm also a business major, same as Watt. minoring in coaching, and then also minoring in exercise science. And yeah, the team culture here, I'd say it's pretty fantastic. Like everyone gets along super well. Like at Mountain Bike Nats, like we're all super busy during the day at like race days and stuff, and then we get home from dinner from like the races, and then we're all cooking dinner, playing pool, and like just hanging out, and yeah, everyone's having a good time. So it's pretty ideal.
Great stuff. Matt, catch us up on what you're doing academically and tell us about this Brevard College cycling experience.
Yeah, so I'm also a business major. I kind of coming out of COVID, I didn't really know what I was planning on doing. I was just back up in Canada working at a bike shop, just rolling with it. And yeah, I got an email from Brad out of the blue asking if I wanted to come down to school, and yeah, I just took that opportunity and ran with it. So yeah, with all the other Canadians that came down here, I knew that I would kind of have a crew that I already knew. Yeah, so coming down here and meeting all these new people and racing bikes as well as getting a college degree, it's been quite the ride, and I definitely feel that I found a family here, and yeah, it's been awesome so far.
Great stuff. Same question for you, Owen. Catch us up academically and tell us about the Brevard experience.
So I am studying integrated studies and also business, like the other three. For the team, like I feel my favorite part is just how we are living together. I feel like that's something that I'm always grateful for, because we're not only are we in like a really cool spot just for training purposes, like the Brevard area is so good for riding, both road and like the trails are like some of the best in the nation. So that's cool. And just like basically we don't have to drive anywhere. We just off campus go ride and have a blast. And then you're always doing it with the crew of people that you live with, which is pretty special. Like you finish rides, go get dinner at the cafeteria. Like you're always hanging out with each other, people that are like-minded and like Watt said, supporting each other as each of you are trying to get better at the same thing or similar things. So that's the coolest part in my opinion, because it feels very much like a family, and yeah, it's pretty awesome. I'm definitely happy I spent my 4 years here as opposed to somewhere else.
Awesome stuff. Well, we're just about to get you guys out of here. Appreciate you joining us here on Tornado Talk. But before we let you go, do want to give you each the opportunity for shout outs or thank yous. Owen, kick us off.
I'll start with, I already mentioned, I'll thank my brother. He came here before me, and kind of because of that, I had an idea of what it was like, and he was a huge fan, so that was cool. My parents for also supporting me to be able to get here. My coach, Catherine, and yeah, I mean, Brad and Randy were pretty crazy as coaches this year in a good way. So yeah.
Outstanding. Matt, what you got for us?
Yeah, just my parents and my sister. I haven't seen them in a while, so I'm really stoked to get home for Christmas and see them again. And they've definitely been a major supportive role for me. The whole rest of the team, people who were at Nats on the sidelines, as well as people behind the scenes back here, showing support and just being just a good family to rely on, kind of thing. Yeah, I want to thank our two coaches. They work so incredibly hard, Brad and Randy, and they're just kind of the heart and soul of this team, and they really bring it all together with all the hard work they do. So thank you.
Well said. Cole?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank my parents for supporting me, like all the way through my cycling career so far, and like at school. Obviously my grandparents as well. Excited to see them at Christmas. My brother, all my coaches that I've had through the years, and obviously Brad and Randy as well for like the massive amount of work they do for this program. It really shows like how much the athletes want to repay the coaching staff here. It really shows how much of a good job they do. So yeah, really appreciate all the support.
What got shout outs for us?
Yeah, similar thing. I'd like to shout out my mom and dad, and then obviously Coach Randy and Brad. They've been amazing for these 4 years. And shout out my roommate Philip. So that's it.
Well done, gentlemen. Congratulations. What a run at the Mountain Bike Collegiate National Championships this year. Can't wait to see what's in store with cyclocross and each of your careers, both in cycling and beyond to come. Thanks for joining the program. Owen Clark, Matthew Leliveld, Cole Punchard, and Watt Hackney, members of that Brevard College cycling team. Congratulations, guys.
Thanks, Phil.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to switch gears as we're going to invite in one more Brevard College cycling student athlete who is coming off of a very unique opportunity up in Washington, D.C. as we're going to invite into the program Paige Edwards, and also alongside Paige, Dr. Jordan Kuck of the history department here at Brevard College, associate professor of history, chair of the humanities division, and honors program coordinator. Paige, thanks for joining the program.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you. And Dr. Kuck, thanks for joining us as well. Great to have you along.
Hey, Phil, how are you?
Doing great. Well, it's great to be with y'all and excited to educate our listeners and viewers on what Paige has been up to. Just these past few days, Paige was one of 25 students selected for attendance at the World Affairs Council National Conference. That was up in Washington, D.C. This past weekend, up at the Mayflower Hotel. All sorts of dignitaries there, all sorts of scholarship, all sorts of, think tank type, ideas and that kind of thing. Would love for you to explain it even further, Paige, what the experience was like, how it felt to be selected, one, but also what it was like this past weekend.
Yeah, so it was super cool to be selected. I previously hadn't heard of the conference, and then Dr. Kuck told me I should apply, and I was just so honored to be accepted. And the experience was amazing. Like you said, we got to stay at the Mayflower Hotel, which was beautiful, and all of the people I met were very unique and interesting to talk to. Got to see so many people speak. I haven't really had enough time to process everything I heard, but definitely would recommend anyone that's interested. It's pretty cool.
Outstanding. Well, congratulations on being selected, and really just thrilled to hear that you're able to see it through and participate in it and so forth. And Dr. Jordan Kuck with us as well. Dr. Kuck, tell us just the context of this World Affairs Council National Conference, and just how elite it requires a student to be selected for such a conference.
Yeah, thanks for the question, Phil. The World Affairs Council is quite a prestigious organization. It goes all the way back to the period of the First World War. And, there was a debate back then, and we still kind of see it today in our society, about whether America should pursue a kind of isolationist policy. And this organization has always advocated in favor of diplomacy rather than isolationism, and of course, rather than war. So it really is the preeminent event in the United States in terms of trying to understand U.S. diplomacy and world affairs. And one thing that makes this organization unique is they have this great student fellow scholar program, and they bring in every year 25 students. And we're talking about the creme de la creme of undergraduate students, right? Because they're asked to chaperone ambassadors, to sometimes make public remarks in front of all the attendees. So it's a great conference, both for academics like myself, but I think even more so for those undergrads who are selected. And we're just so proud of Paige that she was among the 25.
Yeah, outstanding stuff. Paige, before we get into more on this academic side, I do want to take it back to cycling here on this, special edition of Tornado Talk. You're a member of the Brevard College cycling team. First, would you like to, share your thoughts as far as that great performance they had at the Mountain Bike National Championships? I know you were following along and, probably kept in touch with a bunch of your teammates. Your thoughts on the championships?
Yeah, I just want to say congrats. Like that was amazing. Sorry I couldn't be there, but I'm so happy for all of them. I can't wait to see them and tell them in person. Haven't got to see them since they got back because I was at the conference, but yeah, mind blown. So glad it finally happened. Uh, yes.
Yeah, and we're talking about your experience at the conference this past weekend, and we're going to get into a couple more of the academic side of things. But it was cycling, correct? That initially brought Brevard College onto your radar and got you here. Can you tell us a little bit about your fondness for cycling and how that led you to Brevard?
Yeah, so I was pursuing racing cross country mountain bikes when I was in high school, and that was really the only thing on my mind. And my personal coach used to be the assistant head coach here at Brevard, Cypress Gorey, and he recruited me incessantly for like 3 years until I finally came and visited, and I met everyone and had a really good time. And I didn't really think twice about my choice. I knew I wanted to be here. It definitely felt like somewhere I wanted to live.
Yeah, Cypress Gorey, great job as a coach here at Brevard College. Great student athlete, racer in his own right. Has plenty of national championships of his own. Also, great stuff, Paige. Now, as far as being selected to come to this conference, it was my understanding that sort of the precursor to this was a article that you wrote, "The Origins of Modern Terrorism and Their Incredible Relevance Today," that ended up being published by Release Peace, the magazine, which is based in The Hague in the Netherlands. Again, a international organization that publishes articles and obviously are very selective in what they put into their publication. But tell us a little bit about your work here, Paige, and how that was a springboard for heading to the national conference this weekend.
Yeah, so it's a very unique opportunity to have published work as an undergraduate student, and I'm very grateful for this opportunity I had to work with Release Peace. I really enjoyed the process. Like working with an editor for the first time was super cool. I did that all summer. It was kind of a long process, and seeing the article come out was such a relief. And then obviously having that on my resume and being able to apply to something like the Student Scholars Program and saying I have published work definitely helped, I'm sure. So
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And Dr. Kuck, I know a couple of other Brevard College students were able to be published as well. Can you tell us even more context about Release Peace, the magazine, and what it takes for a student, the type of scholar they need to be to get published work as an undergrad?
Yeah, this was quite a surprise. Release Peace reached out to me as a result of my scholarship on the Baltic states and Northeastern Europe. And they just said, look, you're producing the kind of work we're interested in, and we want to know if you might be interested in partnering with us. And when I found out that part of the partnership would involve our students getting a chance to publish, I immediately petitioned the president and the dean to get on board. And it's been a great experience so far. Paige, of course, published, and we had two other students who produced pieces on dark money in politics, and the other one was comparing Alternative for Deutschland to the early Nazi party. So pretty heady, serious topics. And as Paige said, this takes a lot of discipline. All three of these students spent much of their last spring semester, or in Paige's case, much of the summer, with this back and forth dialogue with the editing team in The Hague. And, it speaks to Paige's really seriousness and earnestness as a scholar.
Yeah, appreciate that insight and context, Dr. Kuck. Now, Paige, you're set to graduate from BC, double major in history and psychology. You're also a member of the honors program here at Brevard College. Tell us a little bit what you're working on academically, in this last semester or so in your undergrad career, and what you hope that's going to lead to following graduation.
yeah, so I have 2 senior projects I'm working on right now for my double major. For my senior thesis in history, I'm researching the history of anarchist feminism. which is super interesting to read about. I'm fascinated by anything that's extreme, I guess you could say. And then for psychology, I'm researching the correlation between a disease called uveitis and traumatic experiences. So I'm running my own research study on that. And then after school, I'm not really sure what I want to do yet, but I could definitely see myself applying for PhD programs next year, probably in the humanities area in some way.
Fantastic. And last one for you, Dr. Kuck. Associate professor of history here, chair of the humanities division and honors program coordinator. For students like Paige Edwards and other prospective students who are thinking about Brevard College, can you talk about the humanities just briefly here at Brevard College and how that's such a great option academically for our students here?
Yeah, we hang our hat on experiential education. And if you're a Willie major, it's very clear what you're going to do. You're probably going to go out into Pisgah National Forest and make that your classroom. Sometimes it can be a little more challenging to explain to students what experiential education might look like in the humanities. And I think Paige's recent experiences are proof that we're doing experiential work in the humanities as well. The opportunity to get published with a really prominent international magazine, having that close working collaborative relationship with faculty who are going to help you, get selected to go to a prestigious conference. This is proof that we're doing good work in the humanities.
Yeah, appreciate that. And just outstanding work. Paige, congrats again on being selected to go to the conference. Thrilled that you're able to enjoy that and learn from all sorts of experts up there in Washington, D.C. And can't wait to welcome you back here at Brevard College after, that journey. Maybe a final word from you, Paige, as far as, your senior year here and, what Brevard College has meant for you.
Yeah, there's obviously been a lot of ups and downs for me being diagnosed with an autoimmune disease in my freshman year. But I'd like to say thanks to Brad, for being so supportive, and also Dr. Kuck and my boyfriend Cameron for proofreading everything I turn in. So thank you, Cameron. And obviously all my friends on the cycling team. Brevard College has been an amazing experience.
Very good. Brevard College cycling student athlete Paige Edwards and also Dr. Jordan Kuck from the humanities division here at Brevard College. I really appreciate you both joining us as we celebrated all things Brevard College cycling on this special edition of Tornado Talk. Paige, Dr. Kuck, thanks again for joining the show. Great to have you.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap up this special edition of Tornado Talk as big thank you and big congratulations to all those guests from the cycling program. And right there you have it. The men's basketball team able to win at LaGrange 68-62, the final in overtime. And then the women's team, a big 81-33 win over Warren Wilson. Both those games were going on while we were on air here at Tornado Talk. So congratulations to men's and women's basketball. Hey, big thanks to those who helped behind the scenes. Sports Information Director Joseph Marvin, also Mateos, and Emily Denega, Cassidy Hutto. Appreciate all that they do as well. And thank you, NATO Nation, for your continued support of not just this Tornado Talk show, but Brevard College Tornado Athletics writ large, and appreciate you continuing to support all the teams here at Brevard College. Well, on behalf of all of us at Brevard College, a big happy Thanksgiving to all of you in NATO Nation. Hope you're able to enjoy the holiday in these next few days. Then we'll see you next Monday night for another edition of Tornado Talk. That'll do it for this special edition of Tornado Talk. Congratulations to the cycling team on the success of the Mountain Bike National Championships, and go Tornadoes.